Did you save money when you bought your house by not going for all those expensive upgrades? It's a wise purchase decision, but now it's time to fix all of those choices from the floor up. Today on For Your Home.
When we're making our windows and doors, and even when we're not, Pella is helping to protect our environment in communities across the country through forest stewardship, pollution prevention, waste management, and other green initiatives. Not only because it's good for business, but because it's the right thing to do. And frankly, it's just part of the way we've always done things. Because at Pella, we believe we're not just making windows and doors for houses, we're making them for the people who live inside. Pella, viewed to be the best.
This is really a beautiful neighborhood. The houses are large and all different. There are great trees all through the neighborhood. There are sidewalks, and great schools are just a few blocks away. Who wouldn't want to raise their family in a neighborhood like this? That's what Mike and Teresa thought when they moved here from Winston-Salem. But in order to be able to afford this neighborhood, well, they had to make some tough decisions. They couldn't get all the builder upgrades that they would really like to have had in their dream home. Now, a few years later, well, they can afford them and they're ready to fix some of those decisions. Take a look.
We moved here 9 years ago, and at the time, in order to get into the neighborhood in our budget, we needed to make some concessions. So we chose to go with carpet in the family room as well as the office instead of hardwoods. And after being here for 9 years, it's time to get that replaced. I've cleaned it, I've scrubbed it, and it's just doesn't look good. So after 9 years, I'm really ready for a change.
I work from home occasionally, a couple times a week, and I really like new hardwoods rather than having the carpet in my office, and also like that to continue through the rest of the first floor. Right now in the family room, it's kind of broken up between the carpet and the hardwood, and it would be nice one open room with just hardwoods throughout. And I like that to flow up to the balusters. And replace the white balusters with iron. I think that'll be a better look coming into the front of the house.
Now, if you've never replaced the flooring in your house, make no mistake about it, it is a major deal. That's because the floors are the foundation for our entire home. The rooms, they flow from one area to another area. It's our job to take care of Mike and Teresa's wishes and get all these rooms to flow seamlessly. Nate here's from J Wood, and Nate's going to help me do this job, right, Nate?
Absolutely, Vicki. Real pleasure. What we have here is we've got a transition that they put in from the builder. Now, this is used a lot of times when they'll piece in a part of a carpet or some other piece to try to separate area. The problem is when you do that, you separate the wood so that it doesn't flow throughout the main portion of the home.
Yeah, it just really chops it up, and then you're like forced to put your furniture right here or right there.
Exactly.
We want this whole seamless run, but it's not as easy as just coming up and buttoning up the new wood to the old wood, is it?
We wish. It would make our lives a lot easier. In this case, what we do is it's a technique called fingering. It's where you take out some of the wood that's already there, putting in the new board so that the tongue and the groove can lock together.
So
that way you
just
can continue.
seamlessly all the way through?
Yep, keeps it clean, keeps you from having that kind of odd transition that flows throughout the house and breaks it up. So this keeps it as a single piece.
Okay, the other problem that we have is this new hardwood flooring is not going to match the color of this flooring unless we refinish the old and then finish them all at the same time, correct?
That's correct. That's exactly right. What we're going to have to do is after we put the new wood in, it's all going to be installed as an unfinished product. That allows us to come back and refinish all the areas that haven't been replaced, keeping it a single color. It can also be stained at the same time so that it stays uniform throughout the whole house.
Okay, so if you wanted to go with dark hardwoods or a different shade, now's the time to do it.
Absolutely.
Okay, but this is a lot of flooring. We're going to have to do the kitchen, we're going to have to do the front hallway, we're going to have to do the back bathroom, the laundry room, the dining room, all of those areas. I mean, that's a major undertaking in order to accomplish just this portion.
It is, but because you're only actually putting wood in a smaller area, it's a lot less expensive than trying to replace the entire floor.
Okay, now the office. Are we going to have to do that fingering type of technique out there as well?
That's actually pretty easy. Because it's already a straight transition, it's clean, it keeps the area clean from the entry, it defines the space without actually breaking it up. The different angles, that's what really needs to be fixed.
Okay, so in the office we'll just put a wider threshold or leave what's there right now?
Just widen the threshold out a little bit, make sure that it's flush, that way there's no great variation in height, no trip and fall hazard, keeps it clean, makes it look like the rest of the house.
Okay, so that seems like it's a pretty easy change out for us there.
By comparison, absolutely.
Okay, all right, well, I'm anxious to see all of this come out, and I know Mike and Teresa are really looking forward to what is the toughest job of all of that, and that's getting all their stuff packed away and moved out, right?
That and making sure that we take care of everything to make sure that we don't put dust in everything. There's a lot of work still left to do.
Well, thanks a lot, Nate. I know you've got some measuring to do, and I look forward to
Absolutely.
seeing your work finished.
Thank you.
Replacing the carpet with hardwoods in Mike's office is really going to open this space up, but I want to see us take it a step further. Now, Mike and Teresa have both expressed their dislike for carpet on these steps, so we're definitely going to get rid of that, which means that all the steps have to be refinished. Whenever you refinish steps, that means that they have to remove these spindles as they do that. That's where we're going to make our big decorating change. As you look across this room, do you see how these white spindles really block your view into the beautiful dining room? Well, if we get rid of those and instead put metal balustrades in their place, it's really going to make this foyer pop. Now, here are some of the choices that we're looking at for this project. This one is what we call a single basket. This is a double basket here. You've got a basket at the bottom and up at the top. This is just a plain rail. And then this one, of course, is much more ornate with that sort of S-curve to it. You want to consider how many spindles you're going to be replacing when you make your design selection. If you've got a lot to replace and it's a big, long run, don't go really ornate because it's going to get so busy you're not going to like it. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep it kind of simple. We're going to go with a single basket, and then every 2 or 3 spindles, we're going to replace it with a plain metal balustrade. That way it'll break up how busy it is and it'll really flow beautifully. Getting your home ready for the big transformation is half the battle when having any remodeling project done. Mike and Teresa have packed away all their personal items in preparation for having their floors replaced. This, you cannot even tell, Jose, where this stops and starts. I mean, it's so perfect.
Well, before, we have a transition piece here, we have the carpet, so we're here. Then what we did, we figured in all the water and made it even floor, flat, which is make the house look a lot bigger.
That's what we wanted to do, is open this up and make it much, much bigger. There's a lot of work going on inside the house, but we got a lot of work going on under the house as well. Did you know that a damp crawl space or a basement could destroy all the hard work we're doing up there with our floors? This is Nikki Kruger. Hey, Nikki.
Hi,
how you
Vicki.
doing?
Good, thank you.
Nikki has been underneath this house in the crawl space almost nonstop for 2 days with her crew trying to take care of our moisture issues. Nikki, what have you guys been doing?
Well, we noticed when we were looking inside here and got inside to take a good look, there was a lot of mold, insects, a lot of odor that was probably rising to the upstairs of the house.
Like a musty smell going on.
Musty smell, and that was leading to the moisture issues with their wood floors.
And that can really ruin them over time and just cup them right up.
Absolutely. Most people don't realize that 50% of the air in your home is coming from the crawl space or basement.
Yeah, so if you've got like yuck down there, you got yuck up there, right?
That's right, that's right.
Okay, so step me through what you and your crew did underneath here.
Sure. First of all, we cleaned out as much as we could from the space, and then we laid a high-quality vapor barrier, which is very important. This is going to help.
Now, is that just like a piece of plastic like I would get at the home improvement store?
No, this is 12 mil, which makes it commercial grade.
Okay.
And we're going to go all the way up the walls to help prevent moisture from infiltrating into the crawl space or basement and then upstairs.
Okay. What about the vents that I see all the way around the house? Did you leave those open or
No,
close
we
them?
did close those vents because we don't want moisture coming in. The more moisture that comes in, the more that goes up through the rest of the house.
Makes sense to me. All right, so you close those up and you've got a nice vapor barrier down there, and that's going to eliminate a lot of those problems. So did you have to do anything else under there?
We did actually put a high efficiency dehumidifier in the space as well, just to make sure that any moisture that does get in still is going to be pulled out through the dehumidifier.
Now, I've seen a lot of dehumidifiers, you know, like at the regular home improvement store. So what size or what type do we put in here?
For this Crawlspace, we put in a 90-pint unit. That's 90 pints a day. And it's important to look for the capacity of a dehumidifier, but also how much energy it's using.
Okay.
You really want to find a unit that can take out as much water as possible with as little energy as possible. This unit here uses about 6 amps.
So this is a heavy duty, the kind you really want to put under there, not an inexpensive one.
Not inexpensive, but it's inexpensive to run. That's the key.
That's the key deal. So we're looking at something that's going to save us some energy under here, because does it run all the time?
No, but only runs when it identifies that there's a high moisture level.
Okay.
But it's going to run very efficiently in order to remove that water.
All right, so you're going to save money on your energy source as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, now, once you have this installed, what is the homeowner going to have to do to maintain this great air in the crawl
Sure,
space?
there's a high efficiency filter on the dehumidifier that will need to be replaced once or twice a year. The homeowner easy access, they can replace it themselves.
Okay, so what about that water that it's taking out, those 90 pints a day that you're talking about? Where does that water go to?
There's a condensate line that runs to the unit, and we can drain it out several different ways, so it'll remove that water from the space to the outside.
Okay, just like an air conditioner does.
Absolutely.
Takes it out and it'll just drain away from the house.
Drain away from the house.
Well, you know, that's great news. I'm so glad that you and your team came and took care of these issues, because we certainly don't want anything to happen to these beautiful hardwoods we're putting in for Mike and Teresa. All right?
Great.
And try to stay off from those holes, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks, Nikki. The crawl space will be finished today, and so will the hardwood floors. Now it's time to deal with the flooring on the second floor. Mike and Teresa are ready to upgrade from their builder-grade carpeting. I'm here at the carpet store today to meet with Patricia Flavin. She's from Bliss, and she's going to help me narrow down my choices for Mike and Teresa. Hi, Patricia. How are you today?
Hey, Vicki. How are you doing? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for fitting me in their schedule today. You know, as I look in this carpet store, I am overwhelmed with all the opportunities that there are.
Absolutely, and every woman feels that way. Everything looks the same. They can't separate the characteristics of the carpet.
Well, you
what's
know,
right for their lifestyle.
I look at the carpet and I go, oh, wow, this is really a beautiful color of carpet, but you're telling me that's not where I should start.
No, you really need to think about your lifestyle. Do you have dogs? Do you have kids? What sort of traffic is going on? Think about your lifestyle and then match it up with the carpet.
Okay, now this is a great shag, and shag, of course, is coming back again. We never thought it would, but it is. You know Mike and Teresa's lifestyle, 3 kids, a big dog.
Right.
How would this work for them?
I don't think that's perfect for their lifestyle. I think that's almost too high of a pile. I think they need to go for a tighter, textured pile.
Okay.
That will stand up to better
Would
traffic.
something like this be a better choice?
Absolutely, something like that would be a great choice for them.
It's nice and thick, too. It's
Yeah,
not
and it
like
feels
what they
wonderfully
have now.
soft,
It
yeah.
does. It has really nice. I like, too, the little bit of the mingled color in here is a
Absolutely.
new look as well, isn't it?
And it's very modern, and it also helps with stains and everything like that, too. It's a wonderful product.
All right, now this is a little bit longer shag, so we would want to stay away from this as well?
No, that might be perfect for their bedroom.
Okay.
You know, something that would have less traffic, but maybe not their den where they've got kids and dogs and all that activity going on.
Now, I'm seeing a lot of sculptures out there, a lot of patterned carpet.
Right.
Now, is that on its way out, or is it just coming in and holding its own?
I think it's here to stay for a long time. I think people are looking for a little bit more personality. Patterns are very elegant. I think they offer somebody's home that little edge, and especially for a more formal type home, a pattern is a beautiful way to go.
Well, I would like to use, even though they're not formal, I would like to use more casual sculpture in the family room, if you think that's a good application, because, you know, it's kind of just plain and monotone in that space. I'd like to give it a little more interest. Would that be a good choice
give
for
it
us?
more, give it more personality and make it a little bit more elegant. I think that's an awesome
Now,
approach.
one of the things, too, that we have to be concerned with is the large dog that they have.
Right.
All right. Is there any way that we can get a carpet that is going to not show stains, and it's not going to, or it's not going to permanently stain, and it's not going to hold odor?
Absolutely, and what we've done with this particular collection, Healthy Touches, we've added Magic Fresh to it, and basically that's a salt that is there for the life of the carpet, and it helps to eliminate odours like dog pet, urine smells, also cooking smells, also smokers. So this is a way to make your home...
It just makes it go away?
Makes your home smell beautiful.
No more spraying and the air freshener
and
things?
And sprays only mask smells. What's wonderful about this is it actually takes it away, it removes it.
Well, I think that's great, so we definitely want to always look at those. And two, with, how about mold and mildew with these carpets?
Absolutely. We've built in our silver release technology, and that's an antibacterial, antimicrobial, and it helps get rid of mold and mildew and stain-causing bacteria.
Silver's becoming a really, you know...
Prominent,
it is.
It's in the bandages, it's in washing machines.
To get rid of those germs.
Absolutely.
Okay, you picked out some samples for me here, right?
I did, and what I thought about this one, this particular product
here,
pattern. It's beautiful.
For the family room?
Very, very nice. For their family room, and it's going to
now
wear
can I go to color? Now can I go to color?
Now you can go to color. Now that you know what you're buying.
Okay, now I know I can go to color. Okay, so first of all, it's to pick out the type of carpet that meets your lifestyle, and to look for the features you need, whether it's dogs, pets, durability, whatever you're after. And then you can hone in on the color. Wow, that's so opposite. Is this what you think we should use in the hallway?
Yeah, and also I believe this is going into one of the bedrooms as well. So this is a good product. It's a, you know, it's a textured pile.
I like that.
It'll stand up to good traffic. It's very durable. It's also very soft and luxurious, and it comes in all these shades.
Oh wow, there's a lot of good choice, and having those mingled pieces works really super well in there. Now, this is really pretty. Are we thinking about this in an area as well?
No, this is just some other sample I wanted to show you. This is one of our solution dyed products, which allows you to actually clean this with a mixture of bleach and water, which is a great application for the busy lifestyle.
You're kidding.
Oh, there you go.
Well, this is for another project, I can tell you that for sure. Maybe my own house. Well, I'm going to take these samples and show them, and I can get back with you and let you know what they think about it, and at least now we know how we should be shopping for carpet.
Well, good. I hope it works.
Thank you. I returned to Mike and Teresa's to share the carpeting samples and the information that will help them make the right choices. They made their selections, and our installers got busy transforming the upstairs floors. Now they're just as beautiful as the first floor. Nate and Jose did a wonderful job on these floors. You can't even tell where the old floors begin and the new ones meet up with them. After the floors were installed, then they were sanded. We sanded the old flooring as well as the new flooring. Then we used a stain that is a waterborne stain. It has a real low VOC, so there was no smell involved. The stain went on. We even went with a darker color than we had before because that's more popular now. Another great thing about hardwoods. And then we topped it off with 2 coats of protective finish, the same low VOC. It dries within just a few hours, and it hardens to its final hardness within 5 days. So that allowed us to get in and out of this house by the end of the day. That's a really important feature, especially if you're doing as many floors as we did. Now the office, it's opened up as well. Before there was carpet that started right at the hallway arch. Now it just flows beautiful into the foyer. The stairs are gorgeous, and I love the new metal balustrades. This is a great job. This is really a large room, so the most affordable way for me to get a carpet for Mike and Teresa was to work with broadloom carpeting, have it cut to size, and then edged all the way around. That's a great idea if you're trying to get a rug for a big space. The next tip for handling a large space like this is think about the room in zones. How do you use it? Do you use it for watching television, reading, just relaxing? Is it formal, casual? Once you start to think about zones, you can have a lot better handle on decorating a big room like this. Let me show you what I'm talking about as we bring the furniture in. Now, this is what I'm talking about when I say zones. This is our conversation area. We have a great big nice sofa over here that, you know, there's plenty of room for somebody to stretch out and relax, or 2 or 3 people to sit for a conversation. The 2 chairs that I have at the end, they're a little bit smaller scale, and I love that about them. The back isn't really high. My favorite feature of them is they swivel. You know, swivel chairs are one of my favorites because, you know, whether you want to face it or not, we like to watch television in almost every room. And so if you're trying to build your room and your settings around the TV, it can be very boring. In this case, all you got to do is swivel around to watch the big game. On the other side, where the other chair is, it's easy to swivel it around so that people that are in the kitchen or at the table can partake in the conversation. Now, on the other side of the room, we have treated it totally different. This is where we have our big leather recliner. And this is a great recliner because it has this beautiful tufted back to it. It has nail heads, and it's nice and large in size. This is a great spot for somebody to sit over here. They can still see the television if that's what they want to do, or partake in the conversation. But by adding a table to the side, we can put a lamp on here for reading, and somebody can kind of get away from the fray of the rest of the room. Now, on the end of the wall, remember I said we're working on a budget? We put all of our money into the upholstered pieces, those 4 upholstered pieces. Down here, we're repurposing one of our dining room chairs. Now, if you're entertaining, you can simply bring that chair right out to this area, and you have a nice little conversation area at this end of the room as well. One of the problems that we have in this room, and you might have at your house, is this big hole in the wall. When the builder first built this house, TVs were much larger, and so they built these nooks so that you could set them right in over the fireplace. Today, TVs are flatter and they don't need the space. We're working on a budget, so we can't afford right now to have an electrician and a carpenter come in and fix it. So as the designer, it's my job to figure out, what the heck am I going to do with this big hole? If you have a large niche like this over your fireplace that was meant to house one of the larger old televisions, you might want to hide it like I do. So the first thing is find a piece of artwork, or in our case, a mirror that was large enough to hide the area. We simply hung it in front. Now, you might end up with the same problem I did. I've got a 7-inch gap here. How do I hide that? Well, always accessories. Now, this is just a great willow basket, and I have 2 plants. These are real ivy, English ivy plants. And remember the word real, throw away the fake ivy. All of those fake plants have got to go. So we have this here, and that's going to hide a majority of it. The next thing to hide a multitude of sins are always books, because we have a big gap here that we are trying to cover. Then after that, think of some more accessories you can bring in. A tall jug like this and like this. Keep those color coordinated with the rest of the room that you want to work with. On the other side, the same thing. More books and more books. Now, the thing about fireplaces where a lot of people make their mistake is they don't balance things. And what do I mean by that? One side looks a lot heavier than the other. So think about more books on this side, because the pottery I'm using is lighter weight than the pottery on this side. That creates the balance. And then we have a little topiary that's going to go right here. Now we have two, we have books, we have living greens right in the middle. Now we've hidden that space and created a really dynamite looking fireplace mantle. Well, we've solved our problem over the fireplace. Our next conquest will have to be to bring some color into this room. Mike and Teresa, they want something that's going to pop. If you start with a neutral base like we are, you can go in any direction you want with color. Take a look at what I mean. We did a lot to add color to this neutral room. I want to share some of the features that we added so you can do this at home. First of all, we chose a color which was orange. The first piece that I started with is I found these great pillows at my home center. I thought they were really a nice, lively color. They had the same kind of gold tones to them, but they added an important color, which was orange, and the secondary color was green. I added solid orange pillows then to really bring out that orange color. Now, on the coffee table, I've added a big piece of orange pottery. That helps the color move across the room. Directly below, we have two small little ottomans. These lids can be lifted up on these for extra storage. And the nice thing about it is they have young children. These are great for them to pull right up to the table or to sit on and watch television. On the other side of the room, we added an orange pillow to our dining room chair in the back. And then on the table next to our recliner, we have added a new orange pottery lamp. That's the same color as our pottery dish on the coffee table. A little green bird, another natural plant in a red container. Books we've piled up with red color again. And we added some new artwork to this wall that also has that orange color in it. It's very subtle, but it does the trick for us. On the other side of the room, we added a basket underneath our painting here so we can corral all of those things we all use in our family rooms, like our Afghans, our extra pillows. All of them can go in here, and it looks nice and neat no matter who rings your doorbell. We've added some beautiful fresh lilies on this table for a pop of color. some family photos in the room, and just worked that whole color all the way around the space. Something else we did is we took a room that was really formal and we've brought it down to a much more casual, everyday atmosphere, because that's Mike and Teresa's style. One of the things that we did was we got rid of, they had gold gilded lamps in this room before. We got rid of those. We added simple wood lamp bases and the shades. Instead of going silk, which would have been dressy, I went with a linen shade. I selected one with a brown stripe around the top and bottom, because when you work with a decorative shade, it always makes things more casual. Unless, of course, you're still locked in the 90s and you're using shades with beads on them, get rid of those. Okay, when you want to add color and you want to be casual, think natural fibers, natural plants, get things with texture to them, and start with a neutral palette, add your colors, and you'll always love the way your room turns out.
I'm really thrilled with the way the whole project turned out.
The hardwood floors turned out really well. They were a blonde color before, and my wife picked a darker brown color, and I really like the deep, rich color.
I really love the new carpets upstairs. I love the fresh feeling, the newness that it brought to the house.
I wasn't sure we needed new carpet, but the new carpet selections that Teresa made were fabulous.
After being here for a long time, we finally got things the way that we really wanted it. We're happy with the way it is. We'll enjoy having friends and family over to entertain and look forward to our first big get-together soon.
This was a really fun project. We started off just going to replace the carpet in the family room with hardwoods. Then we ended up refinishing all the hardwoods, adding carpeted upstairs, redoing the steps, replacing the wooden spindles with metal balustrades, and then, of course, I had to redecorate the family room. It all turned out beautiful. I hope I've inspired you to do some things around your home. Join me next time right here on For Your Home.